If you don't give up and continue to work hard, you're going to achieve your dreams.
What's going on, everybody? Paul Tully with the FYI podcast. Super excited today. I'm sitting here with Hewerton, head coach of the Utica City Soccer League. This is incredible. Utica City is playing in the opening game today against our own Empire Strykers. Hewerton, welcome to the FYI podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Man, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. So we were talking off camera. I'm very familiar with Utica, New York. My father lives up there. It's really cold right now.
It's great being here right now, that's for sure. We left the city. It was, I think it was 30s or below 30s. So, being here, I know people here say it's cold right now, which is what, 54 or so, right. 56. For us, it's summer.
Yeah.
So it's great being here.
Yeah, this is perfect weather.
Unbelievable. Amazing. I love it. Yeah.
This is beach weather for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was up there visiting my dad last year around this time, and it was freezing. I have videos. We were covered in snow, and yeah, it's a totally different world.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's great being here.
Well, welcome to California. And so we have the big game today. This is the opening game of the season for the MASL, indoor soccer. This is exciting. So I'm learning myself about indoor soccer more. I just spent some time in Monaco with Jeff Berm and Jill and some of the execs here at the company, and Marco Fabian, great guy, tremendous soccer player. How do you feel about facing up with Marco today?
Yeah, it's a great and special weekend for us. And when I say for us, I can say that it is for UCFC and also for the Empire, because it is not only a home opener for the Empire Strikers, but it's also our season opening. We haven't played yet. We haven't tested the team per se in a game speed and a game like. So tonight's going to be a great test for us. So obviously we are excited. Empire is excited as well for being a home opener. Marco Fabian is an amazing player. Just to have the opportunity to watch him playing, even though he's against us. You want to play against great players. You want to play with great players, but against great players as well. And watching him playing, the man that he is as well, with character and everything. I had an opportunity to meet him personally. A great person as well. So it's great to have people like that in MASL. I was able to see some pictures with you guys in Monaco, and it seems that it was a great time for you guys and great opportunity as well to just being there, sharing the experience that we have the MASL with all the people in Monaco. So it was great.
Yeah, it was great to be on the international stage, and to bring this sport and to talk about it with all these different traditional soccer, and I mean the NFL was there, the NBA, and you had all these big leagues, and to be able to bring MASL and for me, just observing, and I'm a podcast host. I don't know much about the sports, but I've been learning, and it's really exciting. I want to jump into that. Indoor soccer, arena soccer is incredibly exciting. I went and seen my first game here at the stadium, and it's so fast-paced and moves quick. And tell me about it. Do you come from a traditional soccer background before getting into the league?
I'm originally from Brazil. From Brazil. I came to the league in 2004. And back in Brazil, we did not have the indoor soccer, the format that we have in here. I played outdoor soccer professionally, and I also played futsal professionally. But we didn't have the soccer with boards and everything. So it was, I had to adapt to the game. A coach actually from San Diego at the time, Brian Quinn, he went to Brazil with another Brazilian that played as well, Carlos Bassos, and they had to make up a game in Brazil in order to find players. You know, they couldn't just go and start to recruit players, unfortunately, because that's not the game, right? So they had to adapt and get a court that was fans around in order for us to play a similar game here. That was for practice. I was fortunate to go in the last one. A friend of mine was supposed to go in the game, and I wasn't supposed to go in the game. At the time in Brazil, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a physical educator, and I work with sports science as well. And at the time, I was a personal trainer doing teach spinning class and playing futsal in my city, which is my city is Santos. It's a coast of São Paulo. You know, the best part of São Paulo is the beach. You know, São Paulo. So I wasn't looking for to go anywhere. I was very comfortable with what I had. And a friend of mine called me and like, hey, do you want to go? It's the last practice. Like, nah, dude, it's fine. I'm fine. You know, I'm good. It's like, no, just go. You know, like I can go. So I ended up going. It was one of the nights that I scored 6, 7 goals, whatever the case may be, and they asked me if I would like to come to San Diego, and I moved, and I came to San Diego. I did not know the sport, and I can assure you, and I say that to a lot of people, someone that is not familiar with indoor soccer.
Yeah.
They're just familiar with outdoor or futsal, and they come and watch indoor soccer. It takes one game for you to become a fan.
Yeah.
Just how fast the game is, just how physical the game is, high score. It might happen. I cannot remember if I ever played. Again, I've been here for 20 years. I can't remember if there was one time that a game was 0-0.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have games that's going to be back and forth. It's going to be physical. It's going to be fast, and bring joys to people. You know, like it's a whole experience is amazing. And it grows, it's growing. It keeps growing. I think the league is doing a great job on exposing the product that we have, a little bit more. Now we're on a CBS Golazo, you're on the YouTube, different platforms and everything, Paramount, So now it's getting exposed and more people falling in love with. So it is a different type of soccer. Essentially, it is soccer, right? Yeah. It's a ball, and a bunch of guys like a kicking the ball is the same thing. But it's what it provides to ex-spectator is a different experience, and it's growing every year.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Everything you're saying, I agree 100%. Just going and watching it, I've seen 2 games now, but the first game, it was just so electrifying. And yeah, I'm really excited to see it grow and just to be able to observe. So tell me, so you're from Brazil, so soccer's in your blood.
Yes.
This is something you grew up with. Were you kind of playing as a kid? Was this part of your life your whole life?
Yes. For me, it worked. So my family, from my mom's side, my grandpa, he was a soccer player. He actually played for a few teams in Brazil. He also played for Santos on a short period of time, the same team that Pelé played. Wow. He actually played with Pelé's father. So I grew up like more with on a side of the family that was more soccer based. Yeah. My dad's side was volleyball. Like he played volleyball his whole life. So I grew up with a lot of sports around me. I started playing futsal when I was little. Back at the time in Brazil, if a kid wants to play soccer, he wasn't going straight from, not playing to play outdoor soccer when you're young. You go to futsal first. Right? So you go and play futsal until you're 12, 13-year-old, and then you can choose if you want outdoor soccer or if you want to stay on futsal, or if you can play both if the clubs are okay with. So it was more futsal. So I did that until I was 13, and then back in my mind, I always wanted to be a soccer player. So I played also for Santos for, my whole youth academy, whatever name it is now. At the time, it was an academy. I played for Santos. There was a couple other teams that I played in my city. I was always between Santos and futsal and outdoor soccer, because even though I wanted to be an outdoor soccer player, every kid in Brazil, when they grow up, they want to be a soccer player. Yeah. Sometimes it's not only for the fact that soccer is awesome, it's my life, but it's also because they want to help their family. Yeah. It's something that the kids in Brazil look forward to make money and help the family to get out of, sometimes just a bad situation financially, or sometimes it's the favela, like a get out of the favela, something like that. So kids look forward to play soccer. I was fortunate to be playing majority of my youth in my city. I never had to move somewhere to seek for another team. I was always there. So I was able to go through college as well on sports science, because in the back of my mind, I wanted my whole career to be with soccer. I want to be a soccer player, and then I want to become a coach.
Yeah.
And back in Brazil at the time, if you want to become a coach, you have to go to the school for physical education for 4 years to get your bachelor degree. So that's what I did, and I was fortunate that was in my city. So I went through that. So I always wanted to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Incredible. So what brought you to the States, and what led you into this league, MASL?
Yeah, so I was playing professional in Brazil, outdoor up to 2002, and for some reasons I gave up on outdoor soccer. Sometimes at the time, I don't know how it is right now, but you do a contract with a team in Brazil, and it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the money, and I wasn't okay with that. So I prefer to receive a little bit less money, but actually have the consistency of my salary. So I went back to play futsal. And I was in Brazil playing futsal for a team in my city. And there was a practice for four training sessions in São Paulo for indoor soccer, kind of like a tryout type of thing. And I went to the last game. I didn't know about the league. I didn't know about I would come to the United States whatsoever. I just went to practice and play, and I ended up coming here. And my first year when I came in San Diego, it's funny because, again, San Diego for me was great because it's kind of like my city, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
It's the beach, like the winter is not too much. It's just enough for us to, to be good with. So, I was content with that.
Yeah.
And 4 months into the league, San Diego folded. And it's fine, fold, it's fine. What are you gonna do? Oh, there's a dispersal draft. I wasn't aware of it. And I ended up getting picked in January to go to Milwaukee. Yes, so I left the beach
To Milwaukee.
to a snowstorm in Milwaukee.
Oh my goodness.
I literally got there out a day after a snowstorm, and but it was good because that change. I went to a team that won a championship. So it was my first championship playing on that team. It was a great team. Keith Tozer, which now he's the commissioner of the league. He was the coach in the team. Very organized, very knowledgeable, especially with the indoor soccer sense of organization, tactics, and everything. And I was able to play for him for 10 years. Nice. Not interrupted. I left and I came back. But he was a person as well that also inspired me to become a coach, right? Because the way how he carries himself, how professional he is, and how he loved the indoor soccer game, it's contagious, right? If we hang out too much and you love something and I can see through your passion, it's gonna be contagious for me as well. So that's how it was. So I ended up going to Milwaukee and won a championship in Milwaukee, even though it was so cold. And I didn't even have a jacket at the time. It was awful. So then I was in Milwaukee for a season, and then I went played Detroit, Philadelphia, went back to Milwaukee, stayed in Milwaukee, won 2 other championships in Milwaukee, and then I became a head coach a couple of years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now coaching, did you always know you were going to want to get into coaching, or was it more working with this person? That's what inspired you?
I always knew that I want to become a coach.
Yeah.
That was the reason why I went to the physical education, sports science school, because I want to become a coach. The cool thing about that school is that you can become a coach of any sport, right? Okay. Obviously, it's in Brazil.
Yeah, in Brazil.
So you're not going to be able to coach baseball, American football, because we don't have that. We have sport. We have American football and baseball in Brazil, but it's not as popular, so they don't teach in college, right? But I always knew I want to become a coach. I just didn't know in what type of soccer.
What discipline or what type,
Of soccer,
Got
right?
it. Got it.
So obviously, more that I played in the league, more passion I was, you know, I was being more passionate about the sport.
Yeah.
And obviously, I want to become a head coach for the indoor soccer.
What do you like better? Do you like being a player, or do you like the coaching?
I don't know. I'm very content right now that I don't have to run. So I
You don't have to get up and train.
I like that. That I don't have to run. Ever since I retired, the sports that I do is golfing and lifting. So
Nice.
that does not require tennis. Sometimes not require a lot of running.
Yeah. No more sprints.
No more sprints, man. No, it was tough. But I don't know. I think I was very fortunate for the transition that I had. I played, I think I was 38, 39 when I decided that I want to coach. Was pushed to me to coach, not that I decided only.
Yeah.
But then I was a head coach player. So the transition was very smooth. It was player, head coach player, and then coach. So it wasn't something that I just went completely to the other side of the table.
Yeah.
It was going around the table, So
Right.
as much as sometimes I miss playing, if I go and I play a pickup game with my friends, I'm fine.
Yeah.
What I miss is competing. Right? I miss competing. So, I also play futsal, which is a sport that we play a lot in Brazil, which is beach volleyball, but you play with your feet, head, and everything. And I compete with that. So I miss the competition sometimes as a player more
Yeah.
than just coaching. But I don't know. I love coaching. I love the strategy or reading games, planning,
Yeah.
watching games, what I can do to help a player to become a better player, what I can do to help a team to become a better team, to be organized. It intrigues me, like, every little aspect, I always try to be better the next day, we win a game, it's great, but sometimes I'm not even happy the way how we won the game,
Right.
And I know I can be a very, hard on the players sometimes of how I want to see things, but it's just the passion. I love to become a coach. I love to be a coach. I never thought I would love that much.
Yeah.
So now I can say, probably right now I can say that as of now I enjoy more being a coach than a player.
No, yeah, that it makes a lot of sense. I feel the same way when I try to equate it like from like being an actor into when you're directing actors. I love acting. I love the passion of being in control of the character and doing that work. But when you're directing and being in control of everything, it's almost like you're still acting because you have to understand each actor in each scene. So I do like that. It's kind of like what you're saying. There's a leadership, a mentorship to get
right.
these players to execute the plays that you're working on.
That's right.
It's the same way as to get an actor to, but without doing it for them, they have to find it. But you just, so I think I'm trying to find like a understanding. But I do you feel that being a player your whole life made you a better coach? And does it make also? Do you think it helps how you work with players because you were a player?
I think so. I think it definitely helped me to obviously understand the game and understand the player's mentality. I think that absolutely helped. Knowing the sport, it's important for a coach, right? Studying the game is important.
Yeah.
Studying every aspect. I believe that any sport you're gonna play, the first thing you gotta understand is the rule, right? Because then you know how to break it.
Yeah. Right.
You know how to break it. But I think this part is important. But being a player help you with the mentality of a player. For example, like I can say that winning a game as a player, you're happy.
Yeah.
After the game, you feel good and everything, and you forget about what happened in the game. You just go to have a meal, you know, go to have a drink or something. You just relax because your job is done.
Right.
Right. And as a coach, you're already starting to analyze the next game. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? And then you put your player hat to be like, okay, oh, this player tried to do this, because of that. So you're trying to understand, which is, being a player help with that.
Yeah.
But when you lose the games, you take so much harder than a player. Because as a player, you can get extremely frustrated and mad, go home, kick your dog, obviously,
yeah.
no, not kicking,
actually.
not actually kicking, but, being mad, slamming doors, you're mad, but then after an hour or two, you're done.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, it's fine. Everything's good, right? But as a coach, you feel absolutely responsible for the outcome. What should I have done to help them better? Maybe I didn't prepare them enough for this specific game. Maybe I didn't read the game right and I didn't pass the right information. That's why I think a lot of coaches say that, hey, when we win a game, the players win. When we lose, the coach lose. Because there's always something that we can do to help. So I think being a player, it helped me to understand and make me a better coach. It definitely make a better coach. Obviously, like I said, I went to college for that, so I prepare myself to be what I am. But I think the sport also helped me a lot.
No, that's a great answer. Yeah. It's the signs of a great leader too. You could tell that you have the qualities of a leader.
Appreciate it.
I spent 4 years in the military, and I was an enlisted guy, and the officers, when they come in, we always learn that the officers are the ones, who went to college before joining, and they come in and they have a different status than us enlisted. But they're the leaders, and they're first to be on the battlefield, last to leave,
Absolutely.
And so what you're saying, it's like you're taking you feel it more when you lose because you feel like you let everybody down. You didn't. So
That's right.
That's
the discipline is very. I think the discipline is very, and I like the knowledge and everything with the military because I know some people can say that we like to discipline too much. Like it's not. I think the discipline is important. Like if you want to be successful, it's hard to have discipline.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's easy for us to fall into old habits.
Yeah.
Right? I have to have practice. My practice is going to be my practice are 9 a.m., right? And I ask the players to be there 15 minutes prior to practice on the field, working on something that they should be working to make themselves better. And I think that I got from, again, the coaches that I had in my life. The Keith Tozer, the one that I had was one that asked players to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you analyze, it's true. Like, I practice 5 times a week.
Yeah, wow.
So 15 minutes today is not that much, but at the end of the week, 75 minutes.
That's right.
There's no chance I would not get better if I don't do that. But in order to be 15 minutes prior to practice at the, on the field, that means that I have to be at the facility from 15 to 30 minutes prior to that.
Yeah.
So that means I have to wake up early. I have to do things that I need to do and go to the facility. And that's discipline. You don't wake up every day saying like, hey, I want to go to practice.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But it's discipline. So, and you have to be like that. And, you can't be a man of excuses, right? You have to own up for everything you do, right?
Yeah.
You prepare yourself well, you're going to be successful. You're slacking, you're not going to be successful.
That's right.
It's very plain and simple. So, like comparing with the military and everything, I think is great because the discipline, that you have to have on your army, on your navy, whatever the case may be, you have to be disciplined to be in there to be successful, right?
100%.
So I think you have to have, don't get me wrong, with sport, you do what you love, right? So you're going to have fun.
Sure.
But in order to have fun, it's more fun you win.
Yeah.
So if you want to win, you're going to have discipline. It goes all together,
Yeah, and I always, what's great about sports is I always say I always feel like athletes and people in your profession, it's who we all look to
Yeah.
for the source of inspiration.
Yes.
Because, you look at these great athletes and they say everything you're saying, It's who's showing up earlier, who's staying later, who's putting more work in. And, I mean, to get those results. I was listening to something Mike Tyson was saying, and he was saying when he was boxing, he would go train when the gym was closed.
Mm-hmm.
He would make sure he was training when the gym was closed, and he would train when the gym was open. He said, I always just wanted to be doing what other people weren't doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get up like if other people were running at 5 a.m., I'd run at 3:30. Just to know, not that he was running longer, he just wanted to run when no one else was running.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was doing what the
doing
other
extra.
guy. Extra. So it's what you're saying. And that inspires me just hearing that, you know.
I tell that to my players a lot too, because like you mentioned, like for me being a player, it helped me, right? So I was a player that I loved to shoot, right?
Yeah.
I was a target player and a second forward. I love to shoot. So after practice, I always stay and shoot, and I 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 keep shooting, right and left, right and left, because I knew that at a game, I'm not gonna have a lot of opportunities to shoot, but when I have an opportunity, I have to put it in. Right. So there's a funny story that I used to ask. He was the captain of the team, and he was assistant coach as well in Milwaukee, which now he's the coach of Milwaukee, Juliano Oliveira. He was in charge of free kicks. And I had a play. And I keep practicing the play, and I was like, Jules, come on, man. You gotta have this play. You gotta have this play. And I was like, Evo, when we have an opportunity, we will do it. And I practice, and I practice, and I practice. And I bother him sometimes. Like, listen, because it's a timing pass. Like, it's quick, right? Yeah. Like, I need to get the timing of your pass. Can you pass the ball to me? And he's like, sure. So I keep doing it. And at that time, the rule was, if that was a free kick, players could not change from, on the bench and on the field. You could not change players for free kick. You could not leave the field. So that was a free kick on the top of the box, and that's my play, right? So Jules was about to ask for timeout. And I was like, Jules, don't ask for timeout. Just give me the ball. And he's like, if you don't score, Keith, like the coach, he will kill me. I was like, Jules, I got you. And he's like, come on, man. I was like, just do it. So he said he did not ask for timeout, and he passed to me, and I score. And that became the play of the next 2 years.
Wow.
So when things go wrong and there's a top of the box, I come in and timeout sometimes, and I go, and that's the play. And I score many goals, like doing the same thing that we did at practice.
And that's because you were doing
because
it
I was doing extra and extra and extra and extra over and over again until it was close to perfection. Never going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I have to be as close as I could. So the extra things that you do, sweating the details, always going to help a professional player.
Oh, I love that, man. That's a great example.
Yeah.
So let me ask, okay, MASL, for the people watching, why should they get involved? Why should they be tuning in?
I think is not that I think, I believe, I know. It is the whole experience, right? The talents on the field, it's great.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Marco Fabian.
Yeah.
In our team, Calvin, Vini Dantas. I can go Nick Pereira and Tacoma. I can go, Kansas City, Zach Raggett, Rian Marquez, Milwaukee Wave, Ian Bennett, Mario Alvarez, Derek Hoffman. I can go Baltimore Black. Every team, you're going to have very, very, very talented players, quality players.
Yeah.
So you're going to see good soccer, right? You're also going to see a very fast-paced type of soccer. So you're not going to be bored.
Yeah.
I know, culturally, if I compare United States, for example, in Brazil, people in Brazil, they don't mind to have a 0-0 game.
Yeah.
As long as the game is nice. 1-1, that's okay. But culturally in the United States, high score is important, right? Basketball, football.
Yeah.
Even though football, team scored twice and team scored twice, still 14-14.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you won high score, right? That in indoor soccer and MASL, always going to happen. High score. Game is very physical. Right?
Yeah.
So I know another thing that is a pet peeve on a lot of people is, oh, you're flopping. There's a lot of floppers in soccer. I get it. Not in MSL.
Yeah.
Change the rule even change for this year that the players have 15 seconds to get up and go to bench. Otherwise, you're going to have to stay off the game for 2 minutes if it's longer than that. So we're trying to make the game a little bit quicker as well. So it would not be disappointing to anybody to spend a couple minutes just to start and watch the MASL. You start and watch the MASL. You just start and watch. If you never did, you get involved, you become a fan. So, obviously I'm very biased,
It's okay.
very biased, but there is not a lot of sports that get my attention as much as indoor soccer. Even to these days, I watch soccer, I watch tennis, I watch golf, I watch football. I don't watch baseball as much. I'm ADHD like a big time, so it's hard to, get my attention.
Yeah.
Anytime with indoor soccer, with MASL, my attention's right there.
Locked in.
Yep.
Oh, man, that's a great answer. Well, look, I'm really excited. I'm definitely tuned in. I'm excited about the game tonight. Any predictions? What are you feeling?
I predict that's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. Like I said, it's a special game for both teams.
Yeah.
For different reasons, just because a home opener and a season opener. Both teams has talented players. Empire come from a negative result in Mexico, so obviously they're gonna play extremely hard to revert that. You don't want to start the season with 0-2, especially when you play the second game at home. And for us, as a first game of the season, we have to set the tone of how the season is gonna be. So it's going to be a great game. I think prediction is hard, like in MASL, especially out of the first game.
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping to win. So
Hoping for the best.
Exactly.
I'm hoping for the best for you.
Yeah.
But I also hope that our team comes out.
But you're from Utica, so you got to.
Yeah, my father does live out by there, so
There we go.
you're right. Yeah, I'm hoping for a good game.
Again, hope for a tie. All right, good.
So what I like to do at the end of our podcast, I like to ask my guests to look at that camera there. For anybody out there, especially somebody who maybe is listening to your story and they might have dreams to do what you do, what advice would you give them to find their inspiration to pursue what it is that they want to do? It could be anything, but especially in your field.
It is, for me, it's believe in your dreams, work hard. Sometimes life gonna make difficult, but you can't give up. Believe in yourself and keep working hard. That's what you can do. You're gonna have some negative results that are gonna come to make you stronger. But if you don't give up and continue to work hard, you're gonna achieve your dreams.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm going to close this out. Hey, everybody, this is another episode of FYI. I hope you got some stuff out of this. I got a ton of gems out of this. One thing I know for sure, he knew what he wanted to do at a young age, visioned it, chased it, did the work, and got to where he wanted to be. And that's something for any of us. It's never too late, no matter what age you are. When you find what it is that you love, see it, go get it. It's out there for you. Work hard, discipline, and go get it. Your dreams are just waiting for you. Let's go. FYI Podcast.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.